Tacoma, welcome back to TV teaching for 3rd grade. I'm Mrs. Oslin, and today is Thursday, October 8th. Before we get started, we're going to do our zones check-in. Zones check-ins start with you asking what emotion you're feeling. If you're not sure, you can always check in and figure out what is happening inside your brain and what's happening with your body. This chart can help you. Your body might be looking like some of these characters, maybe kind of slumped over if you're sick or tired, or moving slowly. Hopefully you're not bored. If you have lots of energy, but not too much energy, you're calm. You might be what we call good to go. You're focused, you're ready to learn. That's the green zone. Yellow zone is if you're frustrated or anxious, or maybe you're really excited about something, so excited that you can't focus. And then the red zone is where you might be mad or angry, you might feel like being mean or yelling or hitting, you're just out of control. So take a moment and check in. And I'm going to model using an I message to express how I'm feeling with Rafa. Hi, Rafa. I'm feeling focused because I slept really well last night and had a good breakfast. So I'm good to go. Now your turn, 3rd graders. Use an I message. I feel, because, Go ahead. If you are not in the green zone, we're going to review one strategy that we talked about a lot last week, our mindful jar. Our mindful jar can help you if you're feeling in the blue zone, where maybe you're feeling kind of tired or slow. This can help wake you up and give you something positive to focus on. And if you're in the yellow zone, feeling kind of anxious or worried, this can also help you focus and help your thoughts settle. You'll remember in our mindful jar, there's oil and water, and oil and water don't mix. So if we take our mindful jar and we shake it up, the oil and water will start to separate and settle out. And I can focus my attention on the bubbles. And as the bubbles settle, so do my thoughts. And as my thoughts start to settle, I can feel my body get calm and relaxed. A mindful jar is something that you could, with the help of an adult, create at home to help you get into the green zone ready to learn. Now, the materials that you're going to need for today's lesson are your learning buddy. I have Rafa. You might have another stuffed animal, you might have a pet rock, or you might have someone in the room that can be your thinking and learning buddy today. You're also going to need your ELA packet that you picked up from your teacher and a pencil. You gather those materials, and I'm going to step over to the screen and I'll meet you over there when you're ready. You'll remember from earlier this week and last week that we have responsibilities in our writing workshop. Your roles and responsibilities, what you are supposed to be doing during this time together, is listening really carefully and participating in the discussions that we're having. I want you to have your writing supplies with you. That's why I gave you a chance to go get them. I'm going to challenge you and invite you to try new techniques and methods that we talk about. Work with your fellow writers, which could be me, it could also be your teacher at school, or again, if there's people around you right now that you can use as a thinking buddy, they can be your writing partners. I'm going to ask you to respect other writers and their writing by working quietly if there's other people in the room with you. Use your time wisely. That means be efficient, which means really focus on the work that I'm asking you to focus on. Take pride in your work and produce the best work you can. I have a saying that I used to say in my classroom all the time, and it's do your best, don't stress. As long as you're doing your best, that's all I can ask. want you to think, imagine, and write, and live and grow as a writer every day. Today we're going to talk about some really important thinking that doesn't just have to do with you as a writer, it has to do with you as a person and a member of our community and our society at large. My role is to listen carefully to your thoughts and ideas. I'm going to show students what good writing looks and sounds like using literature, your writing, and my writing. I'm going to encourage you and think about what you've done well, because you're all doing things really well, and that's our starting point. So my job is to give you lots of compliments and encourage you. I'm going to give you access in an ongoing way through notes, conferences, rubrics, and keep a writer's notebook and write frequently. I also am working to live and grow as a writer. So keep in mind what your role and responsibility is and what my role and responsibility is. Today, our learning intention is to pick topics for your opinion writing based on what is important to you. Now, opinion writing is when you think about what you think or feel about a topic. And today, I'm going to encourage you to pick a topic that you are really passionate about. It's something that you feel really, really strongly about. And that is what is important to you. In your ELA packet, you will find this graphic organizer, the power of persuasion. Persuasion is when you're using your writer to get someone to see your point of view and maybe even agree with you or change their thinking so that they agree with what you think or feel about a topic. And we're going to come up with 3 topics that you feel strongly about and reasons that support your topic. Reasons to convince your reader why you are right and why they should change their thinking to think like you. So you want to make sure that you have access to this graphic organizer today. The mentor text that we're going to use to help us think about opinion writing is I Wanna Iguana. It's by Karen Kaufman-Orloff, and she wrote this book as because of an interaction that she had with her own son. So this kind of tells the story of a time when her son wanted a pet, and she and her son wrote letters back and forth. He was writing letters to her to try to persuade her or get her to let him have a pet. And she was responding back with reasons why not to have a pet or to make him think a little more and make sure it's something he really wanted. The illustrator of this book is David Catrow. You might recognize some of these illustrations because he's the same illustrator from the book that we read this week, Our Tree Named Steve, that I told you he was one of my favorite illustrators. So I'm really excited to share this book with you. I Wanna Iguana. Now, Kaufman-Orloff, uses letter format in this book to just make it really different and exciting and engaging. Dear Mom, I know you don't think I should have Mikey Gilligan's baby iguana when he moves, but here's why I should. If I don't take it, he goes to Stinky, and Stinky's dog, Lurch, will eat it. You don't want that to happen, do you? Signed, your sensitive son, Alex. Now, right off the bat, I'm noticing something that Alex did in his persuasive writing. He stated what their current opinion was. I know you don't think I should have an iguana. But then he followed up with, this is why I should. And he gave a good, solid reason to convince the reader that he is right. He also did a super interesting thing at the end where he said, you don't want that to happen, do you? Where he asked a question of his reader. That's something that good, strong, persuasive writers do. They ask their readers to reflect upon what they think. Dear Alex, I'm glad you're so compassionate, but I doubt that Stinky's mother will let Lurch get into the iguana's cage. Nice try, though. Love, Mom. Dear Mom, did you know that iguanas are really quiet and they're cute too? I think that they are much cuter than hamsters. Love, your adorable son, Alex. Now, Alex did something here again, too. He said, did you know that iguanas are really quiet and they're cute, too? So he kind of drew the reader in with a did you know? Dear Alex, tarantulas are quiet, too, but I wouldn't want one as a pet. By the way, that iguana of Mikey's is uglier than Godzilla. Just thought I'd mention it. Love, Mom. Dear Mom, you would never even have to see the iguana. I'll keep his cage next to my room. I'll keep his cage in my room on the dresser next to my soccer trophies. Plus, he's so small, I'll bet you'll never even know he's there. Love and a zillion and one kisses, Alex. Now, Alex did something interesting here. His mom said that iguanas are ugly. And so he countered that argument and said, well, maybe you think they're ugly, but you'll never have to see it anyways. Dear Alex, iguanas can grow to be over 6 feet long. You won't have enough space in your whole room, much less on your dresser, with or without your trophies. Love, Mom. Now, after I read this letter from Alex, I'm going to have you do some thinking about what you notice that Alex is doing in this letter to convince his mom to let him get an iguana. So pay really close attention. Dear Mom, it takes 15 years for an iguana to get that big. Mikey told me. I'll be married by then and probably living in my own house. Love, your smart and mature kid, Alex. Now, do some thinking. What do you notice that Alex did in this letter? Now, I'm going to model talking to my learning buddy about what I noticed that Alex did. Rafa, I noticed that Alex used facts to back up his thinking and to support his reason for persuading his mom. Now, I would encourage him to do some fact checking, which means thinking about his source. I wonder if Mikey is the best source to quote. Now, go ahead and share with your learning partner, your learning buddy, what you notice Alex did. You might have said that Alex continues to acknowledge his mom's concerns and address them, which is something good persuasive writers do. You don't want to just discount someone who disagrees with you. You want to think about what they're saying and acknowledge that that's a valid point and then offer facts to support your thinking. Dear Alex, how are you going to get a girl to marry you when you own a 6-foot-long reptile? Love, your concerned mother. Dear Mom, forget the girl. I need a new friend now. This iguana can be the brother I've always wanted. Love, your lonely child, Alex. Now here I'm noticing Alex is using emotion, his mother's emotions, to try to get her to think like him. The iguana can be the brother I've always wanted. Love, your lonely child, Alex. He's trying to make her feel sorry for him. Let's see if that works. Dear Alex, you have a brother. Love, Mom. Uh-oh. If you're trying to pull on someone's heartstrings, that means make them feel an emotion. You gotta make sure you're using accurate facts. Dear Mom, I know I have a brother, but he's just a baby. And what fun is that? If I had an iguana, I could teach it tricks and things. Ethan doesn't do tricks. He just burps and poops. Love, grossed out Alex. Dear Alex, how do I know you're ready for a pet? Remember what happened when you took home the class fish? Love, Mom. Uh-oh, his mom might have a point here. Dear Mom, if I knew the fish was going to jump into the spaghetti sauce, I never would have taken the cover off the jar. Love, your son who has learned his lessons. P.S. Iguanas don't like spaghetti. Dear Alex, Let's say I let you have the iguana on a trial basis. What exactly would you do to take care of it? Dear Mom, I would feed him every day. He eats lettuce. And I would make sure he had enough water. And I would clean his cage when it got messy. Love, responsible Alex. P.S. What's a trial basis? Now, I'm kind of noticing that Alex's mom, her letters, the tone has changed. She's gone more away from trying to counter his arguments to she might be thinking about letting him do it. And persuasive writers need to be ready for when your reader might start to agree with you, and you need to be able to say, this is what I'm going to do, and this is the thinking that I've done about this. Dear Alex, a trial basis means Dad and I see how well you take care of him for a week or two before we decide if you can have him forever. Remember, Stinky and Lurch are waiting. Love, Mom. P.S. If you clean his cage as well as you clean your room, you're in trouble. Dear Mom, I really try to clean my room and the iguana's cage. Also, listen to this. I'll pay for the lettuce with my allowance. I mean, how much can one baby iguana eat anyway? Love, Alex, the financial wizard. Persuasive writers also think about who the audience is. So Alex is paying attention to that. His mom is concerned about the mess in his room, and he has an answer for that. I will really try to clean my room and the iguana's cage. And he's also willing to assume the responsibility to pay for the iguana's food, because he knows that might be a concern for his mom. Are you sure you want to do this, Alex? Yes, Mom. I want an iguana. Please? Dear Alex, look on your dresser. Yes! Thank you, thank you! Now, we notice things that Alex did as a persuasive writer to try to get his audience, his mom, to agree with him. He used emotional and urgent words such as believe, must, have to, important, please. He added facts that make people feel your issue. It's important, like I said, to remember to make sure that your facts are accurate. He thought about what someone might say who doesn't agree with his opinion, like a devil's advocate, like his mom was saying, brought up the class fish, an instance when he wasn't so responsible and he was ready to address that. Use punctuation and formatting that show your feelings. Use questions to ask your readers how they feel about the issue. And use illustrations or photos that paint a picture for your readers and make your issue seem important. This persuasive pointers is in your ELA packet. And when you're doing your persuasive writing today, I want you to try to use some of these techniques to get your reader, get your audience to agree with your point of view. And then you're going to complete the graphic organizer that we looked at the beginning, the power of persuasion. And your job is to come up with 3 topics that you feel really passionate about. And I'm going to challenge you not just to think about something that's surface level, like I want a pet. Think about something that's bigger than you. Think about something that impacts the world around you, that you're really passionate about. You might think about persuading someone to take care of animals and prevent pollution and protect our environment. You might be really passionate about ensuring that there's equity within our schools, that all students in Tacoma have access to high quality education. Something that I'm really passionate about is voting. I'm really passionate that my elected officials are both a mirror, which means they reflect me and my viewpoints, but I also want my elected officials to be a window to the world around me, making sure that everyone in Tacoma and the United States is represented, ensuring that there are women who are elected, ensuring that there are Black, Indigenous, and people of color who are elected, who represent the people of Tacoma and our world, who are in charge of making really important decisions, something I'm really passionate about. So your job today is to come up with 3 issues that you're really passionate about and 3 reasons that support each of those topics. Third graders, thank you so much for doing some really important thinking with me today. This is your 5-minute break. You're going to make sure that you have a chance to go to the bathroom, get your drink of water, and stretch your legs. And when we come back, Mrs. Wally will be here to talk math. Thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.
Welcome back, third graders. I hope you had a great break. You know, I'm feeling the need to have another mindful moment. I don't know if you are, but I am. So we're going to do a mindful moment, and I think we're just going to do some hand breathing before we begin today. So go ahead and put your hand out. Let's do some hand breathing. Here we go. I'm already feeling better. My brain was just racing and I was having trouble keeping my thoughts in order. Let's go back the other way and let's see if I can get myself back to green before we begin. You do it with me. If you noticed, I closed my eyes when I was doing that. That was so I could really focus on what my body was doing and getting it relaxed. I am feeling so much better, and I hope that you're feeling ready to learn. Today, before we begin, I need you to gather a few supplies. You're going to need a whiteboard and a whiteboard marker, or a piece of paper and a pencil, your learning buddy, and then if you have base 10 blocks at home, grab them. If not, as we've talked before, you can make a set if you want out of paper at home, or you can just draw them as we go, okay? So today, we're gonna move from adding with regrouping to subtracting with regrouping. Now, I know that this can cause some anxiety for some students, but I'm hoping that after we do this over and over with our manipulatives, it will start to make sense. I don't expect you to be perfect at it, and we're gonna learn together today. Are you ready? Let's do it. So let's take a look at our first problem that we're going to do together. It says, use base 10 blocks to find the difference. Well, I'm going to go over to my base 10 blocks. If you have them, get them out. We're not going to write anything unless you're going to draw the base 10 blocks, all right? So let's head on over to the whiteboard. I'm going to make sure I have all my tools ready to go. I've got my eraser and my pen, because I'm going to do some annotating. That means like doing some labeling on these base 10 blocks. So when we subtract, I want you to think about a number bond really quick. When we subtract, we're taking the whole and we're removing the part we know, okay? So take a look at this equation, 85 minus 21. What is our whole in that equation, 85 minus 21? What is it? It's 85. So I need to build 85. So in the number 85, I have 8 tens. So I'm going to grab 8 tens, which is the same as 80. That's 5. And I like to always arrange my, if I have the space, arrange in a tens frame, because then I know it's 5 and 3 make 8 and I don't have to count each one. And then I need how many ones? 5 ones. Okay, go ahead and make your drawing look like this or build with your base 10 blocks that you have. So 85 minus 21, what am I going to do now? Private think time, what should I do? Should I put 21 on? Should I take 21 off? What should I do? Turn and tell your learning buddy, what do you think we should do and why do you think we should do it? Oh, Rafa, you think that we should take it off? Why do you think we should take it off? Because subtraction is taking away to find the difference? Okay, so what am I going to take off, 85 or 21? I've already built my whole, so now I need to take away the part. So let's start with the ones place. How many ones am I going to take? Just one. Boop, okay. And how many tens am I going to take? 2, right? Because 20 is 2 tens. So let's count. What do we have for our difference, or what's left over? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, or 6 tens, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer is 64. Nice work, third graders. Let's reset our area. And I'm going to stay over here, and I know you can't see me, but the base 10 blocks are really important right now so that you can understand it. So I think it's more important that you can see those than seeing my face. So let's read this story together. It says, Eva bought a bag of 475 glass beads. She used 134 beads to make a necklace. How many beads are left in the bag? So what's happening in this story? What's going on? Got this person, Eva, and she buys some glass beads. She uses some of them. Okay. What are we trying to figure out in this story? Here's a hint. Find the question mark. We're trying to figure out how many beads are left in the bag. Okay. So what information do we need to solve this? We need to know how many started in the bag. And how many started in the bag? 475 glass beads. And then she used 134 beads. Okay. Now, let's see if we can build this problem. 475. How would I build that here with my base 10 blocks? Let's look at the number 475. Let's start with our ones place. How many? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. How many tens? We've done our ones place. How many tens? 7 tens. And what is 7 tens? 70. That's why we say 475. So there's 5 of them, and 2 more makes 70. Okay? And how many hundreds am I going to need? Let's say the number 475. Let me say it again. 475. So how many hundreds? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So now I'm going to move these out of our way. I've built my hole. This is how many she starts with. How many does she use? Private think time. And what do I need to do with that number in order to solve my problem? Eva bought a bag of 475 glass beads. She used 134 beads to make a necklace. Oh, Rafa. Yeah. Rafa says, Mrs. Wally, she used 134. So we should take 134 away. Okay. Let's look at our ones place. Are there enough here to take 4 away? 1, 2, 3. Yes. Do I need to regroup and borrow from the tens place? Nope. Take them away. Now, I need to take away this. How much is this right here? What does this digit represent? What am I going to take? Am I going to take from the tens or am I going to take from the hundreds? You think from the tens? Why do you think that? 134. Now, am I going to take 30 of them away or am I going to take 3 of them away? A lot of third graders, when they're learning this, they go, well, 30, I'm going to take 30 away, and I don't have enough, and they try to regroup. But I'm taking, what is 30? 30 is 3 tens. So what am I going to take? 3 tens. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 30 is not 30 tens. That's 300. We want to take 3 tens or 30. This makes 30. 10, 20, 30. So we're going to take that away. Okay, are we done? Nope. We haven't done all the place values. What about here? How many hundreds am I going to take away? 134. 100. How many hundreds? 1. Take it away. And what did we get? How many hundreds did we get? 3. see if you can, I'm going to write it really small so you can see the whole thing. 3 hundreds, how many tens? 4. And how many ones? 1. 341. Let's reset. Put all my stuff back in. I like to call this my bank. It's where I keep all my place value blocks so that they're nice and organized and I know where to grab them from. Let's move on to the next problem. So this is our first lesson doing this, and it says look ahead. You can solve subtraction problems in different ways. Breaking apart numbers is one way to make a problem easier. Suppose you had this subtraction problem 525 minus 213. We're going to break apart 525 into hundreds, tens, and ones. So let's look at that number, 525. Private think time. How many hundreds are there in 525? Tell me, how many? Yeah, there's 5 hundreds, which is the number 500. 525. How many tens in 525? How many tens? 2. What number is 2 tens? 20. And how many ones? The ones is always the easiest for me. 5. Now, how would I build that? What do I need to build to make 500? Do I need 500 of these? If I have 500 of these, is that 5 hundreds? This represents 100. So how many of these do I need? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 20. That's 10 groups. How many green sticks do I need to have 20 ones? This is 10 ones, so let's count by tens. 10, 20. I need 2 of them. How many ones do I need to make 5 ones? That was an easy one, 5. Okay, so we've broken apart 525 into hundreds, tens, and ones. Okay, so now I'm going to erase that. We're going to go to the next part. Are you ready? Stick with me. It says break apart 213 into tens and ones. 213 is a 10 and 3 extra ones. Now, I need to subtract. I need to take away each of these parts from each of my place values. So, my ones place, how many am I going to take? 3. Boop. My tens place, how many am I going to take? I'm not going to take 10 of them away. This is the number 10. That means one group of 10 ones. So how many am I going to take? You look at this digit right here and it tells you how many to take. Going to take 1. Excellent. How many am I going to take from the hundreds? I'm not going to take 200. That's how many ones are in, there are 500 ones in this pile. So I need to take away 200 ones. How am I going to do that? Look at the place value, look at the digit in the hundreds place. How many am I going to take? 2. Woo! What's my answer? 200, 10, and 3. If I take that away from 525, I get 300, what? 312. So let's write that equation. 525 minus 213, and watch what happens here. And see if you notice, I'm going to write that a little bit higher so you can see the whole thing. 525 minus 213. I want you to watch what I do, and I want you to see if you can notice a pattern with what I did with the blocks and what's happening here. I had 5, and I took away 3, and I got 2. Say it differently. I had 5 ones, and I took away 3 ones, and I got 2 ones left. I had 2 10s. I took away 1 10, and I got 1 10 left. Or 2 minus 1 is 1. See if you can say what you would do for this one. Try it out. Go ahead. What would you say here? Start by saying the place value. If you said I had 5 hundreds, I took away 2 hundreds, and now I have 3 hundreds left, that is exactly what you should have said. The short way we do it is 5 minus 2 is 3. But this doesn't mean 5 minus 2 is 3. It means 5 hundreds minus 2 hundreds equals 3 hundreds. But we just say 5 minus 2 equals 3 because it's quicker once we learn what these place values mean. And I got 312. Do you see? Huh, interesting, isn't it? So now it says D. Check your answer by estimating. Round 525 and 213 to the nearest 10 or 100 and subtract. So we got 312 was our answer. I'm going to put that over here. It's saying round 525 to the nearest 10. So I underline the 10, I look at the 5. If it's 5 or higher, we go up 1. So it's going to be 530. And then I had 213. And I say this, go over here, 1, that's a 3, that can stay a 1, and I put a 0. 0 minus 0 is 0, 3 minus 1 is 2, 5 minus 2 is 3. Is 312 and 320, are they close? Yeah, they are. So this answer is probably pretty accurate. All right. Let's move on. What's another way you could find 512 minus 213? Private think time. What's another way you could do this problem? Go ahead, try away. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to try away and solve it. And then you're going to tell me what you did. And I'm going to show you a way after the 30 seconds that I'm thinking in my brain of how I might solve this problem. Keep going. You've got this. Don't just be staring at the TV. I want you to try to solve 525 minus 213 and see if you get the same answer, but it has to be different than how I did it. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to draw to solve this problem. Because I can draw squares and lines pretty easy. So 525, and then I'm going to take away 213. So I'm going to start with the ones place and take away 3, then a 10, and then 200, and I get 312. There it is, 312. And that was the answer I got, wasn't it? Mathematicians, when you do math, it's important that you solve problems like this more than one way to check your work. All right, meet me back over at the TV. Today for your, woo, I did it again. I have to put this up when I am on there so we can listen, and every time I forget it's on the table. So what we're going to do for your assignment today is you're going to do page 52. It's a story problem. You need to solve it one way, and then you need to solve it a different way down below to check your work. And that's what you're going to do today for your work. Meet me on up at the camera for our affirmation. All right, third graders, your feelings matter. In this time when we've got COVID and we've got school starting for some people and not for others, and we're not sure what's going on, it can be really difficult. But your feelings matter. Whether they are green feelings or red feelings or yellow feelings or blue feelings, you need to find a trusted person to share them with. It might even be your learning buddy at first, because sharing your feelings helps us process them so that we can be great members of our families and our community. So today your affirmation is, my feelings matter. So I'm going to practice it. My feelings matter. Your turn. Excellent job, third graders. We will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.